Dave,
Eddie,
how are you, dude?
I'm good, bro.
Bro, listen, the last time that we filmed podcasts, that was last week.
Yeah.
And it was your birthday.
It was.
And I went a full 4 hours that day without
fine.
saying happy birthday to you.
I'm not big in celebrating me.
So to the world, I want to say happy birthday.
Thank you,
To
Eddie.
you.
Thank you.
To you, bro.
I appreciate it.
And you were kidless last week for a whole week, right?
Well, they weren't in the house. I still had them,
Right.
but they were,
Right.
yes. But it was good.
That's good, bro.
Good to Aubrey and I, just us. We still had to work and do the normal adulting that we do.
Sure.
But it was nice to just be the two of us for a little bit.
Bro, me and Jenny now have entered a new phase of life where both of our kids are moved out of the house. They're adults living on their own.
Yeah.
And it's nice, bro.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Kids, I know you're listening and I love you still.
Yes.
But also I'm happy you're out of the house. So
But you like it when they come home.
I do. We saw Avery twice this week. I went to see my daughter a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them. I'm always happy they're here. We're in touch, We're a texting family, bro. We text. If you call me, I feel like something's wrong. So I instantly am like, oh, is everything okay? And my youngest, she tends to call me quite a bit.
Yeah.
For various reasons. And it's always at 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
My dog swallowed a tampon and I'm on my way to the emergency room at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Put that right on.
Yep.
It's wild, dude. Wild.
Hate it when dogs do that.
Hey, listen. Okay, so we're here today.
We are.
What are we talking about today? Listen, I was thinking over the weekend. I had a few topics or ideas pop up, and then one hit me this morning, and I thought we could start with that one. I got it. The title, Choose This Day.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the big idea is at some point, and I think this is me personally, I'm kind of going through this too, just internally, at some point, we need to go all in with what God's called us to do or what he's asking us to do.
That's right.
Now, let me set the table here. When I say what God has called us to do, I don't always mean fivefold ministry. Now, It can totally be that, of course, but that's not the default.
Right.
The default is, what is God asking you to do?
Right.
He may be asking you to be a business leader, to be an entrepreneur, to be a mechanic, to be a computer scientist, to be a server. That's what God's asking you to do. At some point, you need to go all in with God.
Yeah.
This is what God's asking me to do. I need to go into it, get into it. Kenneth talks quite a bit, or at least I believe his life motto is find out what the will of God is, confer with no other flesh about it, and get it done at whatever cost.
That's right.
This is what he lives by.
That is.
And if there's anyone in the world who we can look to as an example of someone who is doing that,
right,
who is choosing this day, it's Kenneth.
And for over 60 years.
For 60 years.
He hasn't thought, well, I'll just go do something else.
No.
He's stuck with it.
No, he's committed.
Good times, bad times.
He's committed to the call.
Persecution, no persecution.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
He's committed to the call, and then he's committed to doing what God's called him to do and what God's speaking to him to do every day.
That's right.
Every day. And we're all a result of that.
That's
currently.
Right.
Everybody
That's
sitting in this room, everybody listening really is.
That's right.
Is kind of a result of that. All right, so I had a few examples that we can kind of just read through real quickly, and then we can just dive into it. But again, the topic is choose this day. Joshua 24, verse 15, choose you this day who you will serve. There's something before you. Who are you going to serve? Are you going to serve your own ideas, or are you going to serve what God's called you to do? Now, rarely, I would say, God's calling you to do something that's way outside of what you've even been thinking about. Those stories are very few and far between. And even then, I would say someone who is called to go to Africa randomly, there's something in their heart brewing already before that even comes up.
Yeah.
It's not just they woke up one day and they're like, Africa. They've been serving probably. They've been seeking God for direction at some point. Maybe there's a few.
Yeah.
A few people that have woken up one day and they're like, China, and then they just fly off to China. By and large, that's not how it works. Deuteronomy 30, verse 19, I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life. Choose life. We have a choice to make. 1 Kings 18:21. How long will you be between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. How long will we struggle internally with these two ideas, these
Yeah.
two opinions being pulled to one side or being pulled to the other? And I would encourage everyone, follow God.
That's right.
What is it that God's pulling you to? And then Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, no man can serve two masters. So the big idea is, what's God speaking to you?
Yeah.
What is God speaking to you? And the encouragement is, go all in.
Yeah.
I'll let you say things now.
Well, it's funny you set it up like this. I worked out this morning.
Oh, bro, good
My
job.
trainer, John.
Yeah.
John Hart. And he was telling me when he got started, he was with this high school guidance counselor and talking about schools and blah, blah, blah. And he just got introduced to a bodybuilder. And he said, I don't know about school. I'm really thinking about this bodybuilding thing. And this counselor's responded, I hope I get at least direction correct. So you just want to teach people how to work out, like a disdainful thing. And I think it was the next day or he walked in a room or something. I remember him saying, I saw this green couch and it hit me. He's like, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
To get to help people.
Yeah.
And he said back then it wasn't as prevalent as it is today to be a trainer and stuff like that. But he spent, 40-some years building a life on that, and it's still going today. And, he's here as part of a ministry. It's become his ministry.
Yeah.
He uses it as a platform, not only to help people do what they do in the kingdom and do it with excellence and longevity, but he uses it as a platform to preach, and his life surely is a reflection of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he committed to it too.
He committed to it.
Like, this is it, man. Your trainer can also be your therapist.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the working out thing, because I meant to kind of talk about that just recently. You and I, we've got a new program here at the ministry, and we've got some great health options here at the ministry. And one of the things they have is a DEXA scan.
Yeah.
And I did my DEXA scan.
Yep.
When I saw the results of that bad boy, I changed my life.
Yeah.
I legitimately changed my entire life.
Yeah.
I will eat different. I will work out different.
Right.
I will live my life in a different way.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw those results that were not the best results for me, I said, man, I got to change my life.
So, bro, you're literally just demonstrating that. And I know in that context, the Lord is talking about choose him and choose to serve after him, but you're literally choosing life and death. You're making a decision.
Yeah.
This path I'm on, if I don't make a change, does not look good. Doesn't look promising.
Right.
And if I want to live long and I want to be able to be strong during that life, there's some stuff I need to do and make a decision and stick with it, even when it's not fun and comfortable.
Right. Even when it's not fun and comfortable, because I'll tell you what, it's not. Bro, I think about food more now than I ever have in my entire life.
Yeah.
I would never think about what I was eating. I wasn't counting calories. I thought, I'm eating good. But based off the way I'm like tracking my calories now, I probably was consuming 3,500 calories a day and didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And now I think about, I'm weighing stuff out, bro. I'm like portioning things. It's crazy. Like we had to go and buy all these new containers. It's just nuts.
I get it.
But I think it's a good visual example, or a good example of this idea of choose.
Yeah.
Choose today. In our context right now, we're saying choose today what God has called us to do. Choose today what he's asking you to do.
Yeah. And
that's how you need to be. You need to get to the place where it's like, I cannot go back to the way it was.
Right.
I cannot do that. If you need to make a change in your finances, you can't go back.
Right.
You have to make that decision like, oh yeah, I'm not going to spend $600 on random stuff. I'm going to save that $600 and put it in a savings account because I'm trying to get out of debt or whatever.
Yeah.
I think these are these moments in life where you have to say, you know what? I'm not going to play around with this Bible anymore.
Right.
I'm not going to play around with God and a relationship with him. And let me encourage everyone who's been a Christian for more than 5 minutes. Hey, look, I've been a Christian all my life. And these are things right now that I'm even in my own self saying, wait a minute, I need to be more committed to this.
That's right.
I need to be more committed to a relationship with God. Hebrews 11, chapter 11, verse 6.
Yes.
Diligently seek him. Because if we're diligently seeking God, we must believe that it's a rewarder. There's rewards for seeking him.
Of those that diligently
Yes,
seek him.
there's a reward for those who seek him. And, that's where our faith lies, but we've got to have that relationship with God. You've got to go really all in. It's like, well, I want to be a mechanic legitimately. That's what I want to do in life. Great. Go all in with this.
And
get this to be your first priority.
And like the scripture says, do it like you would if you were doing it unto the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Bring excellence to the table. We're not talking about, in this choosing him and being diligent. It's not just, hey, go to the house, shut your door, pray for 15 hours a day, study the word, and become a hermit and separate from the world.
Right.
But you need to take the steps, yes, to feed your spirit, yes, to pray. That is important. But there's an action step. There's an action piece to go do what he's called you to do. And to do it with a passion, to do it, we're talking about life and death.
Mm-hmm.
If you were making a decision that was based upon that, you would probably put a little bit more weight in that decision than you would, what am I going to eat for lunch today? Earlier when you were talking about decision, this scripture came up in me in Revelations 3, verse 15 and 16. I know the record of works of what you are doing. You are neither cold nor hot. Would that you were cold or hot. So because you are lukewarm, what's lukewarm? You can't decide what you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're not hot. You're not cold. You're right there in the middle. You're a fence rider. So because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew you out of my mouth. I mean, here the Lord is talking. Obviously he would prefer you be hot, but he'd rather you be cold than lukewarm.
Right.
He would rather you make a decision and be on one side or the other than ride the fence.
Right.
Than be right there in the middle and be lukewarm, because we can't tell what you are.
Right.
We don't know if you're in or you're out. And really, until you know where you stand, it's hard to make a decision what to do next. Well, I'm hot. Are you really? Well, I'm cold. Well, not really. I'm in the, And that is a point of decision, and he puts a lot of weight in this here in Revelation.
Right.
This is not a light thing. And so, he get that scripture we started with, choose life, is how he gave you the choice. I set before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life.
Yeah.
He answers the test for you.
Yeah.
Here's what you should do if you want to follow me.
Yeah, I think about this being hot or cold, and I you kind of look at just your regular life. What does this look like in regular life? And we can get in this place of you're not all in, you're mostly out, feels like, but you're just sort of stagnant.
Yes.
And stagnant water, right? Like
smells.
Yo, listen, there's a pond right by my house. There's a pond right by my house, and it's pretty stagnant water.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, was kind of dusk, and we were walking around, and man, there was mosquitoes all around. And then, dude, we were walking, and 4 feet in front of us came this big old cottonmouth. Right? I said, we're out of here. And I just jammed out quick.
Yeah.
I was gone. Stagnant water attracts all that disgusting stuff.
All that trash.
All of that trash is just accumulated. Yep. All of that. It kind of looks pretty on the surface, right? From afar, you're like, oh yeah, look at that moss or whatever. And it can look pretty, but when you really get down to it, that water is nasty.
That's right.
You can't drink that water.
You want no part of that.
You can't be in that water because you're going to get bit by cottonmouth. You're going to
mosquitoes,
get that stuff. It's gross.
All the curse.
Being stagnant over time is just going to make you feel gross. You may be believing God for something. You're believing God for financial prosperity. You're believing God for blessing in your life or in any area of your life. And you're like, I'm just not seeing it yet. Yet your life is just stagnant.
Yeah. See, I think stagnant is no movement. The water comes in and it just sits. It's not moving.
There. Yeah.
And so you might say, well, I was on fire for the things of God when I was young, and then life caught up and I've got busy, and, this is kind of convicting me. What do we, how do I don't want to be lukewarm. I do want to be hot. Well, if you're not moving forward,
Mm.
the spiritual forces, the enemy, the culture, the world is
Mhm.
always it's a reverse pressure
Mhm.
that's dragging you back.
Mhm.
If you're not pushing for some level of advancement,
Mhm.
you're going backwards.
Mhm.
So in order to stay hot or moving towards the decision that you already made, you've got to be making progress.
Mhm.
Now, I know sometimes progress isn't always visible. You can go to the gym. You can, I mean, you're talking about some of the things you did. I'm sure when you first started cutting your calories the first few days, maybe the first few weeks, you didn't see
Right, that's
any
true.
results.
Yeah,
You
literally the
couldn't
first
see
week
it.
I was like, "Am I seeing anything?"
Right.
Yeah.
But the more you stick with it, the more you're intentional on, I am pushing forward.
Mhm.
You're making progress. But had you just not done anything, you actually would have continued. If you got those DEXA scan results, well, I feel good,
Mhm.
and not made a change, next year's results would have been worse than this
Right.
year's.
Right.
Because there's a natural pull. You go to something and there's cookies laid out in
Yeah.
front of you. Oh, I'll have a cookie,
Bro, there's a party at our office every other week, and I want one of
Yeah,
them treats,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And everybody sets the food up right in
I
front of
know.
my
I
office,
throw
bro.
it away.
It's crazy.
I throw it
But you're
out.
right.
Yeah, because so the point I was trying to make there is some level of progress. If you
Yeah.
want to go deeper in your relationship with God, you've got to do something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not always just coming to church. Now, if you're not coming to church, that's a step.
Mhm.
But just coming, on Sunday morning and expecting to advance, it's going to be very difficult. What are you doing during the week?
Mhm.
What are you feeding into yourself?
Mhm.
What steps are you taking? You talked about being a mechanic. You could lay around on the couch all day. I believe God's called me to be a mechanic.
Mhm.
At some point, you've got to go learn how to turn a wrench.
Yes.
You've
That
got
is
to go
so
get
true.
around someone and take some
Mhm.
steps. So what are you doing to progress along the paradigm of choosing life?
Mhm. So Hebrews, okay, let's look at least one spiritual thing that you can do. Hebrews chapter 12. Therefore then, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses who have borne testimony to the truth, let us strip off and throw aside every encumbrance, unnecessary weight, and that sin which so readily and cleverly clings to and entangles us. Let us run with patience and endurance and steady and active persistence.
Active persistence.
I like that. The appointed course of the race that is set before us.
Wow.
I think spiritually speaking, sin, once you're a believer and you've got God as the leader of your life and you're made a new creation, sin ultimately is a distraction.
That's right.
Ultimately, it's just distracting you from what God has for you.
Yeah.
And I think one of the first things we need to do is say, okay, wait a minute. And I am not saying like TV is a sin. I'm not saying social media is a sin. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is yes, the first thing is, do you have sin in your life? Identify it, take it out. Because at the end of the day, it's just distracting you. And then you can kind of go through layers of stuff. What else is a distraction to you?
Mhm.
Is social media a distraction to you? Is gaming a distraction to you? Is I don't know, what else? Something else. Is it a distraction to you? Those are the things that you need to lay aside.
That's
You
right.
need to set those things aside.
Right.
And I think you need to do it spiritually first. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's like, I need to set this aside, get it out of my life because it's just weighing me down.
It'll trip you up.
It'll trip you up. That sin that's in your life, that distraction, set it aside.
And when you're running a race like this describes, you don't want, if you were a runner and you were trying to win a race, you wouldn't necessarily go put a backpack on. The
Right.
backpack would hold you back and slow
Right.
you down.
Right.
There's maybe nothing wrong with a backpack.
Right.
Backpack could be good in certain applications, but for this
Sure.
application,
Yeah.
as you mentioned social media. Social media itself is not inherently
Right.
sin. There can be obviously sinful social media, but even good social media, if it's too much of it,
Yeah.
it's taking you off
Yeah.
course on where you're trying to go when you
Yeah.
should be preparing for the things that God's called you to do.
So there's action that we need to take, right?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, if we want to see change in our life, we need to be like Peter who walked on the water. Jesus called to him, and what did he do? He wasn't like, hey, I hear you, and then magically he was on the water. He took a step. He had to get out of the boat. There was like this physical movement that he had to get out of the boat to step on the water.
Right.
The 10 lepers were healed as they went. They were obedient to the voice of Jesus, and he said, go your way.
Yeah.
Boom, they went, and they were healed.
Yeah.
The servants filled the water pots with Jesus's first miracle.
Right.
He told them to do something, and they did it.
Right.
There's always an action that we need to take in this spirit world.
Yes.
In the physical world for the spirit world to manifest in our in our lives. I think we get this idea that we just need to wait on God, quote unquote. And I think there's always this opportunity for us to wait for God, sure. But at the end of the day, he's always speaking to you to do something. Every day there should be a new action for you to take.
I like this, what we read here in this Amplified on Hebrews 12:1 that you read. Let us run with patience, endurance, and steady and active persistence. Steady and active persistence.
That's good.
That how do you run a race with patience? You're steady and you continue to be active in your persistence. Yeah, active, pushing forward, taking the step. You're steady. You're not moved by the winds of the time. You're not moved by the time. You're not moved by circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
You keep remaining steady and actively persistent towards where you're trying to head, where you're trying to go.
Mm-hmm. That's good, dude. Yeah, I mean, we've got to lay aside the weight, and then we've got to be actively persistent.
Yes.
Lay aside the distractions.
Yes.
And be persistent.
That's right.
I mean, if you want to run like a gazelle like me, bro, you can't have no...
Gazelle intensity, bro.
Gazelle intensity. You can't have no weights on you.
That's right.
Dude, my wife, she bought a vest to walk in, and so I don't have that vest on, but she does. Bro, she's walking faster than me now with the vest on.
Well, sure
I said, wait a minute, babe, you got to slow up a little bit.
But she's probably worked up to that.
She has. I'm just sad about myself and pumped about it.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I'll get there. Okay, guys, that was such a great episode. Yeah. I really appreciate you guys being here with us today. Dave, this is a good one.
That's good.
Hey, we've got to have active persistence.
That's right.
Wait, first of all, we need to lay aside distractions.
That's right.
And have active persistence.
Keep moving.
Keep moving. Take that step. What is God calling you to do? Right. What is God calling you to do? Take that step.
That's right.
Today. Don't delay. Get rid of the distractions and go for it. Guys, what are we supposed to do? We got to
smash that like button.
You have to smash the like button hard.
If they haven't done it by now.
I mean, they need to do it. Hey, and we're up on social media. Social media is crushing right now. So like us, follow us,
share.
Do all the stuff. All right, everybody.
Yep.
See you next week.
See you.